And then you got this kid Balada who looked like they brought him from outer space, man. I've never seen a kid as big as he is. He's really about 380. You know, they don't put down. The kid's almost 400 pounds. And he
Gary, you know what? He kind of reminds me of Larry Allen, but he's bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, he is that.
Hey, Eagles fans, if you're a subscriber to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, you are already registered to win a pair of season tickets for the upcoming season. That's right, you could win a pair of season tickets for the upcoming 2021 season just for being a subscriber. If you're watching and you're not a subscriber, do it now. Subscribe to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel right now. What do you need to do? Subscribe right now.
Got to get to one of my guys, and I'll tell you this, man. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. I'm one of his guys. Okay? I'm one of his guys. Fox 29 in Philly's own Garry Cobb, former Eagle, longtime NFL vet. I'm one of your guys, Gary. So I gotta throw that in there, man. Welcome aboard, brother. I'm so happy to see you.
Well, it's my pleasure. You know, we go way back. But really a pleasure. It's good to see you doing great and everything. And I get a chance to check out your show. I hear you over there going after and putting it out there. You know, and you tell the truth.
Gary, you know what? And I got to tell you, I have for the first time been really watching this Eagle team. And I want to throw this down. I want to start with the coach. The thing that shocked me the most was the development of the plays, the designing of the plays, the poise and the patience that they had in that game. I thought Nick Sirianni called a great game, designed a great offense, and for a team that didn't have a lot of preseason guys playing in the games at all, just in those organized practices, I was impressed. Were you?
Most definitely. And, you know, that was some of the things that I was going to look for. You know, a lot of times, you know, you see coaches, they got all these designs, but what happens during the game, you know, when you got a chance to score? Now, this was something really that was lacking with Atlanta. You know, they got down there on those first two drives, and what kind of plays did they call? It looked like Matt Ryan, he didn't know what he was doing. And here you got a veteran quarterback. But the Eagles, when they got in scoring position, they ran that pick play. Now, I'll tell you this. I do like the way the Eagles coaches, they teach, you know. And you could have coaches that get out there and yap. No, these guys explain things, you know, and they do a great job of teaching. I hear them. I'm out there. I'm listening to them explain. I'm going, you know, this guy's not a bad coach. And Nick Sirianni, he emphasizes that. He wants to make sure guys know what they're doing, know why you're doing it. So, like on those pick plays, look how many pick plays hurt the Falcons. They're not running the pick play properly. You don't even have to you don't have to touch the guy. All you got to do is make him be indecisive, and then you get away from him. But what they did is they would go ahead and pick the guy, you know, touch him. And when you intentionally run into him, then they got to throw the flag on you, you know. And Zach Ertz on that on the play that we were talking about with that pick play for the touchdown, Zach Ertz got in the guy's way, then he avoided him. So he didn't touch him. So you can't call a pick. But if you touch the guy, chances are they're going to call a pick because, you know, we know basketball, that's a pick when you run into the other guy, the guy that's guarding the other guy. So they haven't explained that well in Atlanta. Those guys don't understand it. You got veteran players, don't understand. Don't touch the guy that you're really picking. If you don't touch him, they can't throw the flag, you know?
Absolutely. And really, like you just said, it's all with design, with what they did offensively there. Let's go over to Jalen now. I'll tell you, you know, the poise and then the over-the-shoulder touchdown throw in the corner there. I mean, all the things that he did in the game. The thing I took away, I said he had to be around 250 yards on Friday and 65 yards rushing. He was kind of around that number. But the way that he was in sync, it looked like Frank Wright and Nick Foles of old, where these guys were just, I mean, they were feeding off of one another. And I took that away from him, and it was really smooth. And your thoughts on the quarterback's play against the Falcons?
Well, you know, the kid has the older guys on the team believing in it.
Yeah.
You know, right away when I talk to the older guys and they like this kid, they go, you know, this kid knows what he's doing, and he knows how to lead a team. So he's got those qualities. So the things I'm looking at is throwing and everything, but he's got everybody on that team. They believe Jalen can make the plays and help them win. So that does a lot right there. When you get in the huddle, you believe in that quarterback. I tell you, it just does everything for an offense when everybody believes that quarterback can make the plays and make it happen. So he has that going for him, and he was doing that all during the offseason. He's got these guys working out. He's drilling them. Every time he walk by him, he's asking them about this play and that play and everything. He's talking that stuff all the time. He's like a coach almost. And, he was raised by a coach. So I really think the kid has those qualities. And then he was making his throws on the money. He really looked good there yesterday. Now, in truth, playing the Falcons, they need to be taken out and horse whipped. That was poor, man. Come on. They don't score on those first two drives. Then it's like they had nothing, man. They were not playing with passion. They were just going through the motions. And Matt Ryan, he looked like he just basically said, oh, you know what? We're not going to win this game. They really didn't look like much. And that coach, he just did not do a good job with that because they just really didn't have a good design down in the red zone. And this guy's supposed to be an offensive guru. I didn't see it, man. He looked great when he had, the certain people you're handing that ball off to. That makes you look real good in the red zone. When you got, guys running over everybody, but he really didn't do a good job there yesterday. I thought Nick Sirianni just totally outcoached them because they had designs, that the last touchdown to Rager, he could still be running, they weren't ready for it, and they were running those hitch routes. I mean, how many of those are you going to run? And they still aren't covering it, the way they came out. But some of the things the Eagles are doing, I think, are good things where they're basically calling the play at the line of scrimmage, really, and they're letting Jalen do a lot of that. So that shows they have confidence in him, that they're letting him call a lot of the plays at the line of scrimmage, depending on what the defense is giving them.
I'll tell you what, Gary, the other part of the team, too, and like I said, I just started really watching Eagle football. This kid, Kelsey, the way he gets up on second level and he slips and scoop, and for the people out there, that's the guy in front of you. You've got to kind of slip him to scoop up on the guy that's the linebacker, and you got to try to block a guy like Garry Cobb who's running pursuit down the line of scrimmage. That entire unit, man, looked like that Super Bowl unit of a couple of years ago. If they keep that up with that kid Mulata, that could be as good a unit as that unit that won that Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
I definitely think the offensive line is definitely one of the strengths of the team. And, I knew that going in because, they've got all Pro Bowlers up there. You got 3 Pro Bowlers up there. And then you got this kid Mulata who looked like they brought him from outer space, man. I've never seen a kid as big as he is. He's really about 380. They don't put it down. The kid's almost 400 pounds. And
Gary, you know what? He kind of reminds me of Larry Allen, but he's bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, he is that big with that type of power where it's really scary, and his potential, he could really be a great player that's over there for a while and really one of the better players to play that position. He's got that type of potential. And then when you look, you got a Lane Johnson at the right tackle spot. And then you got big Brandon Brooks over there at right guard. They should be able to run the football on people. They're going to be able to have a pretty good year. The thing is, if Jalen plays well, they're going to have a good year. I don't know if they're going to win all the games because they're not going to play Atlanta every week. Because that Atlanta team, somebody needs to give back their money off of that game yesterday. That's one of the things I think they need to put in, which is, look, you can get paid, but some of you guys need to give your money back when you steal, even though I got to admit, I stole a year, so I can't.
Hey, Jesse James, at least he used a gun when he was robbing banks.
That's right, because you do have people, stealing money. But yesterday I wasn't impressed with Atlanta, but this is going to be an interesting year, boy. I tell you, there are a lot of things you see that are happening, boy. I look over there at that NFC West, man. I'm going like,
yeah, every team won.
Woo! I mean, with Arizona coming on like they are, man, that's interesting over there. But it's gonna, I tell you, the Eagles, who knows? They might be able to sneak and do something this year.
Gary, what do you make of the defense? They gave up, let me put this, 124 yards rushing. not a great number, but not terrible. But they only gave up 260 yards. And as you know, in any era, you give up 260 yards in total offense, that's pretty damn impressive, especially when you got Matt Ryan. And like you said, not going to sit here and say that the Atlanta Falcons were the Super Bowl Atlanta Falcon team of a couple of years ago, because like you said, they put the white flag up probably in the second quarter there. But all that being said, the defense may be the questioning point of whether or not this team can win the NFC East. Do you agree?
I agree. They do have a good defensive front, and they did show up. I knew that one of the keys to the game was how the tackles did against the interior of the Falcons line. You knew, especially because they had a young kid in there, and they exposed the kid, 77. He's a young kid that was in there because of injury. And I knew that Javon Hargrave, if he played the way he'd been playing during the preseason, that he should do something. And he made some noise. He got a couple sacks. You even have Ridgeway got in there and got a sack. So they got the pressure up the gut. And Matt Ryan, a guy who can't run, pressure in his face, you got him. He's basically going to really throw the ball away or get on the ground, because if he's not able to look downfield, he's really not comfortable moving out of that pocket. So that pressure up the gut was going to be one of the keys. And they didn't dominate. Like at the beginning of the game, they let Atlanta get going. So it was really important that they kept them out of the end zone. When they kept them out of the end zone, they held them to just 6 points with those two impressive drives, because Atlanta looked good then. They looked like a different team. I don't know what happened that changed them, but on those first two drives, they were really dominating the Eagles. But then that defensive line woke up the rest of the way, and they really started getting after the Falcons, and the defense came on, and you had the DBs getting in on it, and they really took everything away. I mean, Ryan, he never threw the ball downfield effectively. Yeah. They really weren't able to get anything going after that first drive. The first drive, they looked impressive. They came out, they were crisp and sharp, and they were taking it to the Eagles, but they got down there and couldn't put the ball in the end zone. I kind of fault that coach, because I didn't see a good design of a play that they knew. And a good coach, some good coaches, they got a few plays. When they get in the red zone, they're going like, this is a touchdown. They got certain plays they're going, hey, watch this. This is a touchdown. And I didn't see any of that, where you had, some kind of scheme, but they weren't running those big plays well. And that really hurt them, because that called back some big plays for them, just because the guy had already caught the ball and is gone, and you're running into the guy you're picking, and they're throwing a flag when you had no reason to run into him. The guy's already caught the ball and gone, and that's just not good coaching when those guys don't seem like they understand the rules and how to run those plays effectively. It really hurt the Falcons, and that's why I got to give Nick Sirianni. These guys are teaching their players. You can see them out there explaining, what's going on. And I tell you, really, I learned a little bit just standing out there listening. I'm going, this is pretty good. They do a great job with the wide receivers. And so you got a young team that's going to be getting better as the season goes along, because this is a team that's developing. They're not there yet. Chances are they're not going to be in the playoffs. Chances are. I mean, who knows? Maybe they shock everybody. But they got a lot of young kids that are learning, and they got good, hardworking kids that listen. Devontae Smith, you see this kid listening, trying to get better every day. And they keep on doing it, man. I tell you, that's the way you get better, and that's the way you become a pro. And you definitely got somebody like Jalen who's leading all of them out up there every morning, work, go through the practice, work, man. If a play's not right, let's run it again. That's the way they get after it. So they're going to get better and better. And at some point, they're going to be a very good football team, because they're working. And I love to go up there and see them get after it.
Gary, a victory like that, especially when you have the situation that the Eagles came out of with Doug Peterson moving on from Carson Wentz, there's going to be a lot of doubt when you go into a game and you don't know what your head coach is going to be like in a play calling situation. You don't know what the sidelines. I always tell people, brand new head coaches, watch the organization on the sidelines. I watched Urban Meyer against that Texans. It was a train wreck. Guys were pre-snap penalties. Guys didn't know punt return, kick return. The play designs were horrible. And so a victory like that for the Eagles, that's got to be an injection for that entire locker room. Don't you think also that coming out of where they came from to see how smooth that went? And like you said, let's not toot our horns too high here because it was the Falcons, but still, fundamentally and organizationally, that's got to be a positive.
Without a doubt. And that's one thing I can see with Nick Sirianni is they do have order. I mean, they got everybody going in the same direction. They make sure everybody knows what they're doing, even on the sideline, explaining, hey, this is where you're going to be during the game. I want all of the offensive line over here. You come off, you sit and you talk about what happened. You know how important that is during a game where everybody's communicating. So if somebody does something, you see some teams where they run the same play against you 20 times. You never go talk. Hey, they run for 100, 200 yards. You still let them run that play without going over and saying, hey, what do you see out of that play? You sit down and talk about it. Whereas you see good teams, they come over to the sideline, they're talking. They're talking about everything that happened, and they're making adjustments. And when you got good veteran teams, see, that's why they win, because they'll only let a play happen one time, and then they'll make an adjustment. And you got that kind of communication going on with the Eagles. I like the way they explain things. I like the way they communicate, and they're getting all that done. We'll see if they're able, to reach the mountaintop, but they're definitely trying to get there. I do like, the way that he does everything. So, at least you have that. That gives you a chance, If you're all confused on the sideline and nobody knows what's going on and everything, I mean, I've seen teams like that. You get your butt kicked, and then you're sitting there looking at the tape the next day. You're going, man, they were running that same play. And then they were going over the other side, running that same play. And nobody talks about it. That's stupid. And thankfully, I wasn't on, too much of that, but I have seen that. It's a shame.
I got to show you something.
Okay,
that was my running mate at UM.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, boy, you guys had some great players, man. And when you start talking about, UM, and
we were like you guys at Southern Cal, man, when you played there.
That's right. And you could see that with the way the guys talk. And like when I met Michael Irvin, right away I'm going, man, this guy's made of a different cloth, because he was a wide receiver, not afraid of anybody on the team, and you knew this guy was a fighter too. Whereas, some guys, they don't get it. But when you're around a championship quality, you only want certain quality, which is you want to win. You want to find ways to win. And that's what everybody's doing. And clearly you guys had that at the U of M. You guys had that quality, man, where everybody there expected, hey, we're going out to win. And so, of course, playing with Michael and with Jerome, those are two characters there. I don't know how you get both of them.
Hey, I heard you're back in Stanford, our hometown. So, are you going to go on Bobby Valentine's staff, and are you going to sit next to Mayor Valentine?
That's right. I told him I was going to go up there and help him campaign some, but he's a great guy. I think he'll do a great job. That's why. Who knows? But no, I doubt I'll be doing that. But I'll try to help him get elected.
I'll tell you what, Gary, you are. In our hometown, man, your family is synonymous with sports. And I tell everybody, I go like this, damn, here comes the lead singer for Cameo. He come walking in the damn locker room. I was like, wait, is that Garry Cobb? I said, I go, you don't know what a legend this guy is. I said, if that guy could go to Southern Cal, I could go to Miami. I'm not kidding you, Gary, because of what you did getting out of Stanford to go to Southern Cal. Every kid from Pizzuli and everybody went like this. If Garry Cobb can do it, we can do it. Honest to God, man, we all thought of you. You're like the Godfather. Plus, every time I used to play baseball at Cubetta, hey, Cobb hit a baseball 500 feet over that damn right tech. And I'm like, get the hell out of here. I can't do it. He goes, no, he hit a baseball on the roof. Hey, Garrett, thanks so much for doing this. I hope you do it again, my friend.
My pleasure. Hey, great talking to you. And I enjoy your show. You do a great show. Do a great job with that.
Thank you so much. Garry Cobb from Fox 29, Eagle analyst. And we'll take a brief time out, get to all your spins. Okay, you can see I revere Garry Cobb, right?